1038.
Captain Sully, it is so cool to meet you. I'm sure this is a reaction you get all of the time. How does that make you feel?
Well, great. I mean, thank you. It's nice to be appreciated. And it's good to be such a part of a great news story.
It really is. And I have to say, this was an incredible film that touched me emotionally. I thought I was just watching an amazing, heroic story, but it's such an emotional film. For you, it's not a film, it's your life. What's it like to sit there and watch it play out in front of you?
Surreal.
Yeah.
That's a word my family and I have been using for a number of years about the event, all this attention, the aftermath, and this film. It's almost an out-of-body experience to watch someone else portray you, and in many cases use verbatim words that I used talking to Jeff, the first officer, or to my wife, Lori. But it's amazing. The emotion that we feel during the film, I think, as much as what you felt.
Wow. Can we go back to the very beginning? Can you remember the first time you looked up to the sky and went, you know what, I need to be up there flying? What was it about the sky and flying that attracted you?
I was just fascinated by it. I was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
After a brief period of wanting to be a policeman or a fireman, as we called firefighters in those days, I was hooked, and it was clear I wanted to fly, and I was fortunate to be able to do that my entire life. It's, I think, about two things: about the freedom of flight, cutting the bounds with Earth, and the mastery of the machine and the elements, constantly throughout the flight, that really provide a lot of satisfaction and help one to have purpose and meaning in their life.
January 14, 2009, that's a scary day, but I've heard you say that's what we're trained to do. How, when something like that is happening? Because training is one thing, but when it's happening, how do you keep so calm, and what's going through your mind?
Well, first of all, we didn't have a chance to train for this because in our flight simulators you can't practice a water landing. The only training we'd ever gotten for a water landing was a theoretical classroom discussion. So what we had to quickly do was to summon up a lifetime of education, training, and experience, and take what we did know, adapt it, and apply it in a new way to solve in 208 seconds with something we'd never done before. It's a matter of professional pride. It's a matter of discipline. It's a matter of compartmentalizing. It's a matter of compartmentalizing and focusing on the task at hand in spite of the stress, in spite of our body's natural physical reactions that we felt in that moment and were aware of.
We all thought you were living this heroic, amazing life. But behind the scenes, there was so much angst going on when you have your own industry doing what they're meant to do, questioning you, but they were questioning you so intensely. How do you keep belief in yourself? How do you keep going and keep backing yourself and not doubting yourself?
Well, you use what I have written about in the book I called realistic optimism. And realistic optimism means having the long-term view. Ultimately, we will survive, we will find a way, while at the same time being able to confront an immediate and often very difficult reality. But I'd also been an investigator before, and so I intimately knew the process and how important and valuable it is to learn from aviation accidents so we can make important safety recommendations going forward. But having that knowledge did not make it any easier to go through it myself as a participant when one of my flights was being scrutinized. And it was their job to scrutinize every thought I had, every choice I made, every word I said, every action I took or didn't take. And that took about 18 months.
Wow. Finally, you're so used to being in control when you're in the air. What are you like as a passenger?
I'm a good passenger.
Are you?
I put my Bose headphones on and get a good newspaper, and I'm happy.
Do you listen to the safety instructions before you take off, though?
I do, and I look at the card, which few people do. And if we ever have to evacuate, I will not take my belongings with me and jeopardize someone else's life.
Great advice. Captain Sully, such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Spin 1038.
#1
for music and entertainment.